Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Old School with you here. This is Vince McSham, and we are having a reality check right now. We're all been kind of looking forward to this next patch. We know it's going to be a big patch. There's so much to fix. But I'm telling you right now, this fix is going to be a game crasher. And I'm going to show you why. I've been trying to delete one of the wrestlers I downloaded from Community Creations, wasn't really happy with it, wanted to get rid of it, and it keeps telling me it's in one of the save slots, which I know it's not. I'm going to show you what the problem is here. There's no... To try and fix it may crash the game already, and I don't know that I want to roll those dice. So let me show you what's going on. First, I've got Moose assigned to NXT. There's stuff I was planning on doing with NXT. I just haven't had time. And I'm going to do is remove him from NXT. There. So he's not assigned to anything. Hold that thought a minute. Never fails. All right, I'm back. Apologize. So he's now not on the roster anymore, right? Good. We'll save it in that slot that he's not on the roster anymore. Here's the thing. I'm not trying to get rid of Moose. I'm trying to get rid of Bobby Roode. Now, why would I try to get rid of Bobby Roode by getting rid of Moose? Well, that's where the crash is going to come from. I guarantee it. So if we go to Bobby here, just not real happy with the way it looks. I've tried a lot of stuff with the face and the this and the that. I'm just not there with it, and I was like, never mind, I'm just going to scrap it. I don't really need Bobby Roode. So as you can see, he's not assigned to a show, right? It would be right there if he was. We'll even go in just to make sure. No show assignment. And Moose is not assigned to a show. Again, why am I removing Moose if I'm trying to remove Bobby Roode? Now, there are two different ways of attempting this. I'll try the second way first, but I'm going to show you the other way that realistically, according to the game, is the way you should be doing it. Not that that ever stopped them. So if you go to your extras and you go to your deletion utility, one of the things I actually like this year is the way they've split it up, and you don't have to keep on tabbing over everything, wait for it to populate to move to the next tab. So we're going straight to the custom superstars. Boom. And then we're going to look for Bobby Roode. There you are, Bobby. What's the name above the thumbnail? It says Moose. Now, it does show he's not currently used. A moment ago, it said he was used in slot 1, which is why I went to the save slot to remove him from the roster. Follow me here. My thinking is, even though it all says Bobby Roode, so far as the pictures, the thumbnails, I'm pretty sure I'm going to delete Moose. If I don't crash the whole game. Now, you might think, okay, well, then go delete Moose. Well, whose name is above Moose? Blast. Well, what about Ted DiBiase? Rob Van Dam. What about Flair? Chubby MC. None of these names match the thumbnail. So the question is, which part is fucked? And I've got to believe it's the thumbnail, but I'm not positive because, again, a minute ago, go back, where'd you go? A minute ago, Bobby was showing that he was in slot 1, and now that I've removed Moose, he's good to go. But I'm pretty sure that's Moose. But I'm not positive. Now, let's figure out. Bobby, I think, was on someone down here somehow. Tito. I mean, none of these names match. Not one of these names match the person. For Bobby Lash. Bobby, I keep saying Lashley. Bobby Roode. I mean, not one of these names match. Bobby Roode. Okay, yeah. Oh, fuck me. I don't want to run the risk. And that's saved in slot 2. So before I even contemplate that, what's up, Judd? Neil, how's it going? Yeah, it ain't broken like this, buddy, and it was never broken like this. This is a special broken. This is fucked big time. And my thing is, if the patch all of a sudden starts to try and fix this, who the hell knows what that's going to do? Certainly not 2K developers. This is a freaking mess right here. So what I'm going to try to do, the one that gives me the most confidence, and that's pretty loosely interpreted right now, is I'm going to try and delete it through the creation. Because at least this, I know, if I open this up, it's going to be Bobby Roode in there, right? So, matter of fact, I'll just to be sure, edit Superstar. And that's Bobby. Okay, again, I just don't like anything about the way this turned out. I think it was someone else's, and then I started to go to work on it. There's some resemblance of Bobby there. I'm just not feeling it, though. I don't know what it is about this that I'm not really digging. Anyway, I've just decided to let it go. I don't want to go like into a Disney song about it or anything. We're just going to let it go. But I am pretty sure if I would have done it through the deletion utility, that moose would be gone. Back this way, I'm sorry. Bobby. Bobby, where are you? There you go. All right, so now we want to try and delete Superstar. Let's see if it'll do it this time. It hasn't let me up till now. Okay, this time it is working, it appears. All right. Well, I feel a little more confident at least. And let's go and check on Kip, make sure he didn't disappear on me. All right, and Kip's still there. So I guess that's the way you have to do it, is you have to go through your, if you're trying to delete one, you have to go through your utilities to figure out what actual name's attached to it. Then remove that person, at least from the, no, because you're going to have to remove that person from a roster, from any tag teams they're in. It was also shown that he was active in a tournament that I never played because I didn't realize that they don't allow you to do titles in tournaments anymore. So you've got to delete whoever you, not necessarily who you want to delete, but the name associated with them. You have to delete them from all aspects of any association in any of your save tabs. So if you're doing universe mode, that's, you know, they've got to go from a tag team, got to be removed. I mean, you can always put a placeholder in there, but what a fucking bunch of shit. And back to my point, who the fuck knows what's going to happen with this patch? I don't know if they're capable of fixing this shit. Matter of fact, I'm pretty damn sure they're not. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I really think this patch that we're all kind of waiting on, every day I get up there and I'm like, is it up? Is it up? Nah, shit. I got a feeling when it's up, we're going to be really down. Down and depressed. Could be wrong. You know, I've said it from the get-go. I don't want them to suck. I don't want this game to be a piece of shit. But that's what they give us, and I'm not going to candy coat it. I paid $130. I get to say what I want. Corey Andrews, welcome aboard, buddy. And it really is. I was telling someone the other day, and it might have been on stream. I'm not even sure we were chatting. To me, this is just as bad as 2K20. Here's the difference. 2K20, you knew it was a piece of shit immediately because eyes were floating and teeth were floating. You know what I'm saying? It was so visually obvious that the game was fucked up. Hair was doing wacky shit. With this, aesthetically, it looks very nice. You got some cool arenas in there. We just broke out the Raw Arena from the Manhattan Center. It's a beautiful thing. And it looks good, and all the wrestlers look pretty damn good. This one, all the problems are once you get past the pretty face. I mean, you're going home with the prettiest girl in the bar, and then when things get down to it, you find out she's got a dick. Which nowadays probably happens more often than it used to. Let that be a lesson. Don't go to the bars. I'm just saying, that's exactly what there was a movie many years ago called The Crying Game, and I feel like, for whatever reason, that movie's in my head right now. It's not what you advertised. Not what you advertised. Andrew Roberts, how are you, buddy? We're talking about the trans video game here. It identifies as a video game, but it's really not. Oh, Lord. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm thinking that this thing is going to not just crash, but crash mightily. For those of you that were watching the stream yesterday, or if you've had a chance to watch it on demand, it was the Raw is War episode from the Monday Night Warriors. And 2 different cutscenes were supposed to occur. Neither of them did occur. And one of them in particular was at the end of the main event, which was Austin against X-Pac. Austin got a win, and then the match just kind of like the referee called for the win, the bell sounded, and then the referee went catatonic, just stood there. No cutscene ever got in, and the match continued on. It's like Austin just keep beating the shit out of X-Pac, and it wouldn't end. So finally, I did an exit from the stream and kept it recording, and a little while later, it finally kind of ended. But when it ended, X-Pac hit the X Factor. It wasn't like referee got involved or anything. Referee's still a coma patient. And then the game just basically showed, this normal screen with the stats and the points and whatever and the stars. And then when you go to close out of that, it just went to a black screen, and that was it. You had to shut the whole game down, bring it back up on, and then you had to replay that match again because it was as if you didn't play the match. So this time I played it as Austin instead of simming it, figuring, okay, something maybe didn't go right. We'll figure it out. And that was the plan. And then I beat him again, and once again, referee comatose. And I just kept beating the living crap out of him for like 20 minutes. It never ended. So basically, unless he KOs my player, or let's put it this way, the losing player has to now KO the winning player for it to ever end. But even then, it's just going to crash the game. I'm going to bring some video up here, so I think you guys will find this a little bit entertaining. I cut it way down. So this was basically the replay second time around, and these are the highlights of Austin getting pissed off that the match won't end. What? You dumb son of a bitch. So Austin's going to take it out on the ref. He's going to take it out on X-Pac. He's going to take it out on everybody that wants to see it. I'm telling you, this is just a highlight. This I did for like 25 minutes before I found it. And then I came back in and I just deleted it. In the universe mode. There's actually a few good spots here, though. That was very much 1998-ish. Canada whoop ass. What? Stop the referee. You get a stun, and you get a stun, and you get a stun. What? There's press on the ref. I should have picked on him for a while and see if I can make him. Here's one for you. Here's one for you. Everybody get some.
Get up. You got some, bitch. Here's to you.
Damn it, put it into the front row. But it just kept going on and on and on. It never ended. Oh, Miracle, what's happening, buddy? So, yeah, this game has so many freaking problems. And again, these are all things that were never an issue before. It's like, when could you not play a tournament and put a belt on the line? I mean, you got to go back like 3 or 4 games ago. In Universe mode, you cannot add a manager unless it's a playable character. But so far as like Fuji, Albano, anything like that, Paul Bearer, Brother Love is in the game first time. Yay, can't play him. Just exhibition, that's it. When was that ever a thing? You cannot remove thumbnails. Case in point, let me find one. And a lot of people have gotten smart, and they won't do these thumbnails like the Giant here. Everybody's just letting the character do the talking for it, which is the way it should be, quite honestly, because thumbnails are very misleading. So if you haven't already seen or heard about this, when you go, oops, sorry, go back. If you go to your personal information, custom images, I can switch it out for another one. But what I can't do is delete it. There's no way to delete. And they didn't think that was such a big deal when people were mentioning it. It's like, dude, there's 100 save files. So if everyone had a thumbnail, that's 100 slots that we can't use for images. So yeah, that's a big deal since you're not up in the count at all. Oh, here's another one, too. I have 3 save slots. It'll only show slot 1 because when I downloaded him, I was only using slot 1. So I added slot 2 save and slot 3 save after the fact. And because he was here prior to the fact, it's not an option. So whatever changes I make, for example, case in point, what's his name? Cliff Anderson for the IWF has been getting announced from New York. And I was like, I know I changed that to Minnesota, which I did. But when I go to put him into slot 2, I don't have the option for slot 2. Again, never happened before. So the updates to the wrestlers that I make that are in slot 2 or 3, if they were created or downloaded prior to slot 2 or 3 being put into existence, it isn't going to take effect. The only thing I could do, possibly, likely, probably, maybe, is delete slot 2 and 3 completely, wipe them out, and rebuild them. Hell to the fucking no that's happening. These fucking people at 2K. Yeah, I mean, look, that's my problem right there, Miracle. That's my problem in a nutshell. They've had all these problems before. How many fucking times do you have to learn the same thing over again? In other words, don't you have a checklist of all the stuff you fucked up before so you don't do it again? Or at the very least, hey, let's go through these items that we fucked up in the past, make sure they're working okay before we release the game and look like complete idiots. And that's the nicest word I've got for them. You know, I've been saying that the only way I'm buying another one after this is if they create a story into it. And I'm like, now I'm saying, no, I don't even think that's going to work. Because God forbid, every time they add new shit, look what we get. That fucking island was so important to them. That cash grab was so important to them that they completely neglected the game. This is not excusable. This is absolutely unacceptable. There's nothing about this that's okay. Nothing. We pay $130 to test their game, and now it's on month 2. When do I get to play the game? I'm already 2 months into the life cycle, and I can't play the game. Not the way it's supposed to. It ain't working. Cutscenes aren't coming in. I can't add managers. I mean, in the overall scope of the world, I know this is nothing. But, again, we're talking about this specific thing that I paid money for, that they take money for, that they offer nothing in compensation for. Zero compensation. Yeah, they're always going to take steps back. That's just what they do. Kevin, you're right. Anyone who didn't buy this thing did themselves a favor. By the time it comes down in price at the end of the cycle, you'll know what you're getting if you want to get it then. That's as fixed as it's going to be at that point in time, right? But right now, not worth shit. It's more of a pain in the ass. Jesse, just rewind and you'll see it. It'll do better than me telling you. But in a nutshell, it's not matching. The things like if you go to your deletion file, which is what we started out with here today, and you want to delete a superstar, which I wanted to get rid of Bobby Roode, which now I've done, but I did it a different way. But as you can see, that's right there in the picture is not Ace Austin. That's Dolph Ziggler. That's not Randy Rose. There's $1 million Ted DiBiase, but it says Ricky Saints. None of the names match the thumbnails in the deletion. And it doesn't even match the other way either. So right now I'm on the Renegade, but it says Robert Gibson. If I find Robert Gibson, you would think it would say Renegade, but it doesn't. There's Robert Gibson. It says Odessa Slim. So it's literally like you just put them all in a blender. Or one of those hoppers. Remember what they used to use for the Royal Rumble back when it was supposed to be more legit, and they had the hopper with all the 30 numbers, and they'd roll it around. You'd reach in and pull one out. That's kind of the way this is. So when they come up with a patch in the next, it's got to be pretty soon because there's DLC coming. Oh, boy. I thought I was worried before. I have a funny feeling this next patch is going to, and they had that problem in the past. I don't know if it was, might have been 20. I feel like it wasn't 2K20 because that was unfixable. Well, anyway, there was a patch that came out and essentially corrupted, I won't say everyone's saved data, but a lot of people's stuff. Like your universe mode was wrecked. You had to rebuild your universe mode. I think that was 2 years ago. Maybe one of you guys remember. And there was no way around it because the thing that was wrong, the only way to fix it, meant it wasn't like you lost the downloaded wrestlers per se. It was the same one where the hairs disappeared. Yeah, it was like 2 years ago at least. Because every time they did a patch, Hogan's hair was gone. And that's an in-game character, not a created one. There was like 3 different patches and 3 different times they had to put Hogan's hair back in. It's like, motherfuckers, you just did it twice. You don't think before the next patch goes out, please make sure Hogan's hair didn't disappear? Whose job was it to do? You had one job. Make sure Hogan's hair doesn't disappear 3 times. $2K, why bother? I like that. It's a good name. Good name. I haven't, Miracle, I have not seen improvement. Just, in other words, the fact that you've added a few things does not mean the game's improved upon. And at this very moment, I'm sitting here trying to think, okay, what's the new shit that we got? We got that Bloodline rules match. Not necessary, and jury's still out on whether it's even worth it. And how often are you going to play that? I don't know. I just... Whoo, baby. This is bad. It's going to be bad. I don't want to be right, but based on track record, history, and everything else, I don't see any way that this thing doesn't crash and burn with this next patch. I just don't see it. There's just too many things not syncing up the way they should be. All right, well, that's really all I had for this one. I'll probably be on later on. I've got an AC being worked on this afternoon. I was hoping he was going to be here first thing in the morning, but now he's telling me 12 noon, which is the hottest part of the fucking day. Thanks for that. Is what it is. But once he's done with what he's doing, I'll probably jump on and do something here. So is 2K24 going to be the next 19? No, 19 was a good game. 20 was the problem child. 2K19 is actually the only really good one they've had. That was the only one that worked and lived up to expectation. Everything after that has been a shit show one way or another. 2K20, we all know how bad that was. And aside from, they patched out the problems with the eyes floating and all that kind of shit, but it just, it looked bad. The wrestlers were very smooth, almost like water paintings. And the creation suite was no better. You couldn't get good creations on 2K20, no matter who you are. Even the best of the best, I mean, they put out good stuff. I'm just saying it's not as good as everything they had before, and it's not as good as everything they've had since. It wasn't compatible with putting out anything good. Yeah, I mean, 2K24... I mean, compared to this, it's a gem. 2K24, I would say, was passable. If we're talking about giving it a grade like in school, it gets a C+. Right now, this is at a solid D. A solid D. And I don't know if it's going to be able to get to a C+. I don't have any confidence. I have no confidence in these people. All right, folks. Well, like I said, I'll be on later this afternoon, so make sure you hit that notification bell so that you're aware when it happens. And if you don't mind, hit that like button right now real quick on this one. I'm going to flag it over to the fine folks at 2K. I don't know if they'll watch any of it or not, but if they give a shit, what am I saying? Of course they don't. Nonetheless, let them see what's happening, and who knows if anybody's had these problems or reported these problems to them already. I just think this is going to be a really bad day when this patch drops. See if I'm right or wrong. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Be back, like I said, later this afternoon. Just not sure what time exactly, but hit that notification bell, and you will know when it's time. So long. See you ringside. Bye.